can't do any live chat with it. So basically, it's rendered.
It should be streaming now, guys. Hello, everybody.
This is why I'll say hello for you, Darren.
Hello, everyone in the chat room. Let us know if you can hear us. Let me just do some silly stuff. Wow, that's really loud.
And if you ask me any questions, you'll just have to let me know.
Is it coming through? Be hearing sounds. Let us know what you can hear, and if it needs to come up, down, whatever.
I get like a jumping CD player. It's the audio again. I don't know why it is. It's been working fine, and then as soon as I'm on it, it's like there's a CD jumping in the audio.
You don't sound like that though now.
All right, that sounds like it's working. Guys in the chat are saying, "Yep, cool." Righty.
No, yeah, but I can hear. When you're speaking, it's like a jumping CD player, like glitching.
Yeah, it's something you're in, mate. Something you're in.
I know. It works fine for everything else I'm doing. It's only when I'm on air and it's annoying me. I'm losing the will to live with music.
Okay, what are we doing? 9:57. 3 minutes. Okay. Yes, allow access to Skype. Use stupid computer. Daz is calling. Cool. I haven't set this stuff up yet, Dazza. Haven't set it up yet. Virtual input. I have to do some stuff. Sorry, hanging up. It always rings when I'm not ready. There we go. That should work. Let's see what happens now. Can you hear? You can't be heard because you've gone.
Mic's not on. Is that better?
Yeah.
Hello?
I can hear you, but now we can't see you. Just one sec. Let me fix that.
I can see me, so there's a picture going out.
Yeah, but nobody loves you over here.
Oh, just should go to bed then. I need to sleep.
Whoa, look at the size of him.
What's happened? I'm getting like... I've got names across my eyes. What's happening here?
Oh, that's the wrong... I don't want to move that.
Now they're moving.
No,
you guys were on YouTube before. I had really good sound from YouTube.
I have to do it the old-fashioned way.
That's it.
Oh, wait, Kyle.
Yeah, get in your spot. Get in your spot, Dazza.
Back in your corner. No one puts Dazza in the corner. I'm a bit green tonight. Ew, that's gross.
Oh, that'll do. I can't be bothered making it perfect.
We could say things there, Dazza, but we won't.
Jaundice. I need a liver transfusion.
Ooh, okay. 10 people. I had the most creative topic for tonight. Do you want to see the topic? All right, here you go.
Q&A, something.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to do... I think we're all good. So I'm going to do this. So you guys won't be able to hear anything except yourselves. So, solo, fade. Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream, even though we've been streaming live already. Now, did I just press the wrong button? Let me just see, because I hit the solo thing. No, it's worked, it's been good, cool. Hi everyone, welcome to another live stream, and let's say hi to randomly, let's go, Inky. Hi Inky.
Hello.
How's your week been?
How are you? Oh, yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, I've been practicing with this big setup over here, and I managed to, yeah, I'm getting it now. It's all coming together. So I'm pretty happy.
That's awesome. Well, we'll have to ask you some questions about that big setup in a sec, I reckon. Who can we randomly all say hello to? Let's go to Darren. How you going, Darren?
Hello. Can you hear me all?
We can. All the way from sunny Manchester.
Yeah, not so sunny, I'm afraid. It's not raining, though.
That's all right. Have you had a good week?
First half was okay. Second half wasn't so well. And then everything's falling apart around the studio.
Yeah, so we've got a bit of...
Other than that, yeah.
We've got a little bit of an audio issue with you tonight, and we'll just persevere with it. It's kind of clickety-click. So it's... I think it might be something to do with your... USB interface. But anyway, we'll persevere. Let's go on and say g'day to Dazza. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good. G'day. How are you?
We're good.
That's good.
And your week has been good?
It's early in the morning as per usual here. I've had a really creative week. I've been jamming with the guitarist. I've posted a video just about every day and just exploring ideas and concepts, and maybe what I might be able to do with the YouTube channel down the track is have a bit more conversation and dialogue, because I have really interesting chats with my friends, and it'd be good to include that into the jam sessions that we're having, so the audience has a better idea of what's actually going on between us and what's going on in the music. So yeah, it's been good after the dry spell I had over Christmas, where I didn't seem to be getting much done at all. It's nice to have a setup that's running well, and my ambition at the moment is to get the better DJ mixer and find a way to manifest that.
Yeah, we'll definitely come back to that as well. Talk about your setup. So, hi to everyone, and I think we need to say good day to our wonderful chatties that are in the chat room. And this week we haven't really set any sort of major topic, because I think we kind of did news to death last week. Oh my goodness, that was like the biggest news we've ever had. And if you missed last week, you can go watch the replay. We just literally talked about every single, NAMM release known to mankind. It was pretty bad. So let's go through all the chatties and say hi to them, because they're all wonderful people and they deserve to have a hello. So Axelsoft Music was one of the first in, so say good day to Axelsoft. 888 Berg, how you going? Inverted Popes, how are you? Who else we got? Scrolling. By the way, Inky's keeping an eye on all you guys. So Finn's in there. G'day, Finn. Who else? Damiano's in there. How you going again? It's good to see you back. Mac Mister, how's it going? Good to see you back as well. And Andrew Brooks, also good to see you back. So it's awesome to see you. What else? Jeez, it keeps going and going. That's fantastic. And obviously there's some of us in there as well that I've missed on purpose, because we've already said hello to those. G'day, Burkoot from Provence. Wow, Provence, is that a... I'm not geographically known that well. Provence sounds like something French. Provence. Anyway, let's not do French jokes. I'll probably get in trouble. So here we all are. This is the Brady Bunch, as Tazza likes to call it. It's more like the Misfits, I'd like to probably call it. But anyway, Inky's probably not a misfit though. But yeah, so this week the topic is we're going to do a setup Q&A, and the setup Q&A topic is pretty flexible. Basically, you guys can ask us questions about your specific setup, and hopefully we can answer them. And obviously, we're all going to talk about things that we've done recently in our setups, because you've just heard Dazza and Inky talk about theirs, just recently making changes and getting sort of funky into it, so that's good. And I've also made a couple of changes to mine too. So, and we all know Darren's been very secretive about his, so you never know, he might release a little bit more of information about his. Who knows? We just never know what's going to happen this week. So definitely sing out in the chat if you've got a question that you want to ask us. But before we get into it, as every week promises, we're going to have some funny stuff first. And if you're new to the stream, this section is called Funny Side. And welcome to Funny Side. Jeez, we travelled all the way around the world and back just with that stinger. Anyway, the most famous meme producer in all of the world would have to be this guy. Hang on, why did that not work? Did I just fail? There we go. There we go, look at that. There's a person in this stream that made that meme, and he's giggling away before.
No, because I didn't actually make it. I repurposed it from somewhere else, and I gave them a notice of "I'm taking your meme" just before I took it. And that one, I knew that would be popular in synth memes today. Yeah, that's been going off.
Now we have to point out the unicorn horn coming out the top left-hand corner there.
The fabled RD9.
Yep, that's the one. So you made it, mate. You've now reached stardom.
Oh yeah, I've had a few go off in synth memes in the last week or so. It comes from things that are on my mind. I use it as it's more like a political outlet for me. The synth memes. You can say things in there in humor and get away with it.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's keep going. It was a good one. It's going, like I said to you in Facebook, it's going in the pool room, that one.
Yeah, it's technically not mine. I can't take full responsibility.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Okay, next one. I love the doorless jokes.
That's quite good.
So let's let the, 55-second delay for the chatties to catch up on that one. But yeah, if you haven't worked it out, they're actually at a jam session.
I was going to ask for
That's
some Pearl
like Cornwall.
Jam. Yeah. Yep.
Silver
Anyway,
hair perp, Pearl Jam.
moving right along. Next one. Oh, this is... I don't know if you guys know. This actual image is pretty famous in Australia. There's a TV, like a cop TV show where it's actually like... they follow the police around and they actually show real people being pulled over for whatever reason. And this guy was completely... I think from memory he was drunk. And the cop went up to him and asked him, what are you doing sitting in this car? And he goes, I'm just waiting for my mate. But in this version, it's I'm just waiting for the next Behringer version. So that one made me laugh because obviously I've seen the show and I understand it. But I'm sure you guys have probably seen cop shows where guys are just being idiots, and this guy's one of them. I think he got a massive bundle of tickets, that guy. So it was quite interesting. Anyway, that's the funny side.
I remember that one as well.
There wasn't a massive amount. There was probably a lot more I could have chosen, but I thought I'd keep it sort of fairly light on this week. Anyone have
Andrew
a favourite?
Said that, I did because Andrew's just said it is actually Cornwall. That faking in Cornwall, I believe.
Oh wow! So that's close to home.
Yeah, too true.
Too true. All right. Well, now I promised last week we're not going to do too much news this week, but there is a bit of news, so let's get stuck into it. And the only news that I want to talk about is this. Yes, that's right. Behringer have now officially shown their hand. They are going to be bringing out an ARP 2600. We don't know how much, but we do know when. And it's going to be announced at the Super Booth show in April. And this is a photo of what they call the second prototype. So I don't know how much different the actual production version will be. I'd say they might want to straighten up those two 1/4 inch jacks up the top right hand corner there. That might be a nice idea, because if the internet is going berserk over OCD-ness with that. But other than that, some guys were sort of complaining about how small it was. But yeah, it's not a replica ARP 2600. It is a functioning ARP 2600, and we'll definitely get stuck into talking about it. But let me just show you a couple of photos that I stole from the video. It's not nice looking. I knew that teaser video was this. I just had this little feeling with the blue LEDs. It definitely was this. And I just took these screen grabs from the video. And the back's pretty nice too. So you can see it's not just rack mountable. You can see you can actually stick it on your desk. You can see the little rubber feet. So it can be sort of like a mixing desk type sort of setup. And have I got one more photo? Of course I do. One more photo. I could do more, but I won't. Okay, so let's have some reactions. Who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about their feelings about the Behringer ARP 2600? Put your hand up. Crickets.
Korg. One word. Korg. What do you Behringer Korg? How's the playoff between the two of them looking for you? Is it just not worth the extra expense for the Korg? Have they not making a big enough run? I've heard they were already sold out or something on pre-order, and they're like another two or three grand ahead, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say anything until everyone else has had a say. So, okay. You'll hear my opinion. You'll hear my opinion.
I reckon Ranz has bought one. I reckon he's got his money saved for this Behringer one.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
The one thing to consider is the original, as well as being limited, is massive. I saw a video of it being taken out of box, and I forgot how big it really is. So that's big. Also another consideration. But mainly it's the money and the limited stock, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's an interesting time.
I don't
have a political view. I've given up politics since. I think it's a bad subject. So I just want to have fun. I want everyone to have fun. So that's it. That's my say. I like it. It's got lights. I like lights.
Yeah, lights are good. All right. No politics in sense. I agree. And also, I question the term limited edition. But we'll get to that. Definitely. Darren, do you want to have a little word about it? The Behringer version.
I think the Behringer version is going to sell quite a lot. I think the Korg version is for sort of die-hard, proper retro, fans of all the synths that really want to have that piece of kit back from the past, and they've got the space to put it in and the money to spend on it. Whereas the Behringer one looks really pretty, and if it sounds very similar, if not the same, I think they'll sell bucket loads.
Okay. I think it's, almost obvious that that's kind of the market that Korg were going for. They were going for that sort of, die-hard collector or die-hard fan, which is probably me. And just to let you guys know that I actually do have approval in the family to buy the Korg one if I wanted to, but I don't know if I will. So the jury's still out about which version I'm going to get. I'm still trying to find out what's happening with their mini version, because potentially that could break the internet again. So when I anyway, what I do like about the Behringer one is that it's I think it's modernized the functionality of the ARP 2600, and it's in a sort of format which is still relatively usable, but I think that the layout of it's actually pretty good. They haven't really wasted any space. I mean, technically they could have made it smaller, but then people would have whinged it was too small. I think it's probably just the right size. When you think about it, this is about 6 or 7 U rack I don't actually know the official height of this, but it's 19-inch wide, of course. So it's your standard old-fashioned rack mount. But also you can chuck this thing on your desk, and it's not bad. It's not bad. I have no idea how much they're going to sell it for. All I do know is that I was given. I'll just go to all of us so we can get reactions. But I was given that price ages ago from Korg that they were going to do a $2,000 ARP 2600. So I'm still pressing pause on that because their mini might be 2,000, right? And we know the full size is, what is it, nearly 4,000, just a bit shy of 4,000. So a little bit below half, and then so you'd sort of expect Behringer to be kind of hovering underneath that, I would say. How much over 1,000? We don't know. It'll just be guessing. Someone in the chat might even have a guess. Someone suggested to me that they might sell it for 2,600. So because it's the 2,600, so I don't know. That might happen as well. Anyway, the good news is there's now 2, possibly 3 new choices of ARP 2600s in addition to those ones that I showed you guys at the start of the year. So yeah, pretty good news, I think, all around. And if you don't like Behringer, then get Korg. And if you don't like Korg, then you've got all those clone ones that are still out there, or you can get an original. So I think we're in a good time. You can't deny that. We're definitely in a good time. And this is why I was excited about the start of this year, because this is probably the number one synth that I've always wanted. And now I know at some stage this year I'm going to get one. I don't know which one it is, but it'll be one. There'll be one here. Who knows? Maybe more than one of us will get one. Who knows? We just don't know.
What are you seeing as the main differences in componentry, or is there any difference in voltages or the circuitry?
Well, they did talk about the way they've wired it electrically, and they talked about using SMD components. Now, the guy that they've got employed, he's from AMS. He makes Eurorack modules in the UK, and he's been making ARP sort of clone modules, a bit like how Studio Electronics make clone sort of Moog modules. This guy made sort of clone ARP modules, and he's really well rehearsed with knowing how the electronics works with the filters and the oscillators and that. And one of the biggest issues with the ARP 2600 when they first brought it out was they were challenged to make an oscillator stay in tune and more stable. So they had these sort of different electronic design approaches that you guys can watch the history of ARP and you'll find out how this works. So getting to SMD, one of the biggest benefits with SMD is it doesn't thermally react. Technically, this is what they're claiming. Now, I'm not saying this from my own knowledge. I'm saying this from repeating what this guy said on the Behringer video. But technically, they're saying that the SMD components don't thermally react as bad as the through-hole, and therefore it doesn't go out of tune. So as much, it will. Of course it will. It's completely voltage controlled. So it's not a DC or anything like that. So that's kind of the take on that. Now, let's have a quick listen and read of what Triple Eight Bay. How many shoes and handbags is my wife getting in return for the green light? I
was going to say foot rubs.
I've been sort of working really, really hard in the sucking up the wife's butt department probably for the last year. So I've got lots of cred right now. So basically it's yes ma'am whenever she wants something. There's never a fight. Even though she's always wrong. She's never wrong. Oh dear. Anyway, so let's have a quick look at the chatties and see what they've come up with. It's always interesting. Now, I've got to scroll back a bit. Who here is interested? Finn's saying he reckons the ARP 2600 will be less than $1,000.
I think it will be too. That's I was going to say that.
Wow. If that's the case, then those things are going to be flying off the shelf. They're going to be a bit like the MPC-1, aren't they? That's going to be everyone's going to have an MPC-1 and a Behringer ARP 2600. That'd be pretty awesome. Everyone seems to like the blue LEDs. I don't know if I do or I don't. Geez, man, when Roland did that Ira stuff and it was all green, didn't the internet explode? And now everyone's complaining about blue LEDs. Oh dear. We just can't win, can we? When will Darren buy his first Behringer? That's the question from Triple Eight Berg to you, Darren. You might have to answer that one.
Darren has integrity.
Are you going to buy your first Behringer? Let's get his face. Let's see if he's lying.
A bit long here, actually.
Is his eye twitching?
No, it's not. I've got two things that are on plan order, so it's not yet. I don't know. Maybe this year I may buy something Behringer.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right, we'll come back to you. Axelsoft is saying he expected it to be the Blue Marvin. Yeah, I was kind of hoping there'd be some kind of coolness with that. Well, they do bring out those colours. Who knows? You never know. There's all sorts of different colours of those Roland things. You never know. They might bring out a blue and a grey. To keep it sort of to the original. This one was the sort of orangey black version, wasn't it? Orangey grey version. Mac Mister says you have to mention the Behringer stands for the Eurorack. Yeah, we probably could. We could probably definitely mention that. What do you reckon, guys? They just pretty much copied what Moog did, didn't they? I mean, Darren, you've got a DFAM, haven't you? Or a Mother 32?
Yeah.
You had a DFAM, yeah.
DFAM.
Yeah. So the Behringer pretty much just copied the stands that Moog did. There isn't really.
Yeah, the Behringer one's
no
not as deep though, is it, as the Moog ones? The Behringer one's a little bit shallower.
Yeah, but that's just to fit their gear, and really, that's the only difference. I do like it though. Axel's mentioning about the Blue Marvin. They did trademark it, so who knows? You never know. Did everyone see that pink version of the TD3, the Behringer, the Barbie edition?
Oh, I'll get that.
We have to bring that photo up. Oh, I'm gonna have to find it now.
You have to do that.
Oh, I don't know if I've got time to find it. I'll see if I can
Photo
drag
of me.
It's like, how they've got the blue, the silver, the red. Someone's done it. I don't know if it's true or if someone's just done a Photoshop job, but it's the Barbie edition, the pink one. I reckon they should do more pink stuff. Pink's cool. Pink is awesome. Everyone's going to scream at me and throw stuff at their screen now. Pink is not awesome for synths, and throwing their coffee at the screen. What do you reckon, Inky? Do you reckon pink synths all over? I reckon be goer.
Oh, yeah, it could be cool for me. I prefer blue, actually. Blue's my favourite colour.
Like a pale blue?
Yeah, I'd have to get it.
Like a pale blue?
I'd have to get it if it was pink.
We could do a pale blue and like a lemon. Remember those micro brutes that came out that were the lemon colour? They were kind of like the pale yellow. So you'd have
a full glow
blue,
in the dark,
pale yellow. You'd have a real colourful
glow in the dark version.
Yeah. When we seen it out here, it should be like acidy, LSD, multicoloured. You can get multicoloured things that are all swirling.
Yeah. Or if you
that's
want,
what
psychedelic.
the TD3 should be. Yeah, that's what it should be.
You could have your studio in what they call Straya edition, and that would be the fluorescent yellow workers shirt and the dark blue shorts. That'll be the colour for Straya.
With the pair of thongs.
Should be yellow. It should be yellow with a great big smiley face all over it.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Had to find that one in.
You're quite right there. If they're going to call it acid, at least put some Fat Boy Slim style logos on it.
What some?
He always used the smiley face.
Yeah, but it looks like when you're going down the train station and someone's tagged the whole side of the train station. That's what the Fat Boy Slim logo looks like.
And it's going to offend. It's just going to offend so many people that won't buy it for that reason. It's all about being conservative.
Then they're not like proper acid fans, are they? How can you not be an acid fan and not love a smiley face? So why would you be buying a TD3 or whatever? TB3 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
the
acid
acidy one.
face.
Sorry about my mouse scrolling. But while you're talking, I'm trying to get the pink one up. Don't quote me when I said that. That's actually a bit rude. Jeez. Oh my God. I'm gonna go down and someone's gonna record that now.
Yeah, that's going to be a playback quite a few times.
Oh, I can't find it.
I just think of the overlay video footage you can put.
Has everyone heard of that new coronavirus? That I don't know how you pronounce that correctly, but there's all these memes now at the moment out where people are like tipping Corona beers down the sink, and like guys are going off their nut at their missus because they think it's the coronavirus. Sorry, that was a bad joke. I just wanted to change the subject though, if you can get me. Oh, come on, hurry up. Save image. Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it. Definitely do it. Here we go. For all those who have been waiting patiently, yes, that is correct. I now have the meme. Now all I've got to do is just drag it and drop it into the stream. Look at that. Ready, set. There it is.
Oh,
I like it. I like it. I'd have to buy it.
I reckon that's pretty awesome. I have to admit.
Is that a real thing? They've actually made it in pink?
Let's just make it full screen so we can all see it.
Well,
I reckon that looks awesome.
People are always saying there's not enough women in music. Maybe it's just as simple as we've got to make everything pink and there'll be more girls in the industry. Maybe that's it. They'll go, oh, it's pink, I must touch it. And they'll all become musicians. You never know. Could be brilliant for the industry.
Actually, I should do it this one. I should do it for this guy who hasn't bought the Behringer stuff yet. Yeah.
I can't believe I just said it's pink and I'll
It looks
touch
like you've
it.
got a Darren, it looks like you got a Behringer in your studio.
Subliminal messages happening here.
No.
Visualize.
These comments are getting very, very close.
Oh, that's right. We're allowed to.
Hint.
I might go back and sample a lot of this, actually.
You dare.
I've just started.
Do it.
All right. Okay, let's go to the next section before we get into trouble.
The live stream remix.
I've got an idea for a tune.
Oh, I feel you, brother.
All right, let's check out some dodgy prices. These aren't so much scams this week. I think these are probably just dodgy. I don't know if anyone knows much about the Korg Z1 polyphonic moss synthesizer. Does that mean it's got moss growing on it because it's so old? I don't know. No, I'm just joking. 949 pounds, and yes, you can get this one from sunny Bournemouth. We actually beat them the other day. It was good. So 949 pounds, which is what, Dazza? That's probably about 2,000 Australian, just a bit shy of that. Yeah.
Triple.
Now this guy reckons he's never opened it. I mean, obviously the photo looks like he's just opened it, but that's what he means. He's never actually set it up. It's mint. Mint, I love that term, mint. Yes, anyone got a Korg Z1 in the chat room? That'd be nice to know. And this one's from Dazza. There you go.
Oh yeah. I've been looking around for the zone.
You found that virtually a few hours after we streamed last week. So I've been dying to show everyone that one. This is This is your mixer that you want to get, isn't it?
Well, I've been looking around for these, and they go for around 2,650 in Australian. And I found one at $2,000, but the guy's just not even responding, and he says it has to be pickup, and it's in Melbourne. So I'm like, I actually think maybe that's not even the one.
Marge, start the car. No, just joking. This one's 7,000.
What if I hold back a little bit longer? And Pioneer have just released the DJM V10, which looks amazing.
Yeah, that one does look pretty
cool. And just make a serious investment and live with it for the rest of my life.
That'll be
my final.
That last one was pretty stretchy, sort of scammy price. I think that one kind of made. I think that made it over the line to scam. So.
Oh yeah,
7,000 for a mixer.
That was like
not quite as good as that $100,000 mixer that we showed a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty good, that one. Dear. Trying to keep an eye on chat. Don't forget, if you guys are watching chat and I'm talking about the four of us here, seeing out if something comes up in chat, because sometimes I get distracted with things. But yeah, next section is, we're going to go straight into what we call Saturday Sonority, and basically this week the topic is, well, we should know what the topic is. It is Setup Q&A. Ask us anything. Yes. Just don't ask us anything about Pink. So there's your little intro. Now this is really for anyone who has a question. So let's move on from, wait for the sort of, you know, the chatties to catch up. Have I missed anyone coming into the chat room? Say hello to everyone that's come in. Michael Elliott, how you going? Didn't see you there. That's nice to see you. If I've missed anyone, just swear at me or something. It'll probably won't let you do it. The YouTube police don't like swearing, but you can swear in a different language, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, if anyone else I've missed, swear at me and I'll find you and I'll say hi. Anyway, so what does setup mean? Well, you know, if you've got a question about your setup and you don't know how to do something, like say for example you've got a device and you can't connect it properly, anything like that, have a think, see if there's something that you want to ask that you've not really been getting straight answers from people about. What I thought we'd do though first, while we're waiting for those questions to pop up, guys, is I thought I'd show you some new things that I got during the week. And if you guys follow me on socials, you've already seen it, but this is really just for people that don't follow me. This is my, you know, I love my DIY stuff. This is going to be a nightmare, this job. So I did show a while back that this one, Darren, you'd probably be interested in this. This is going to be a guitar pedal, and it's a 106 chorus. So it's actually stereo. So it will have a single input and two outputs. And you guys might remember I showed you the original Bucket Brigade delay chips that I bought. Well, that's what they're going in. They're going to go in this. And I have to put everything together on this big massive circuit board. And yes, some of these are SMD. So this is going to be really pushing my old fart eyesight. He's given me some components, but I've actually literally got to order the rest through Tater or Digikey or whoever. So that's going to be interesting, that one. But that's going to end up being an actual correctly made Juno chorus. Yet TC Electronics, I'll have one and you won't. So there we go. Sorry, there was a bit of a dig. Next one. You can ask me questions about that if you want. These are just little kits that I buy. Now, Dazzy, you might remember I showed that oscilloscope that I put together a few months ago. This is another version. Now, Darren, you're going to be really interested in this. This is another version of it, right? So this one's called the DSO 150, and yeah, if you're going to buy this, make sure you get the J. I don't know if you guys can see that there. Hang on, the JYE Tech version, because there are copies out there. So get that version, and yes, it's another kit. You got to solder stuff, but it's not too bad. And this one actually comes, and you can make the whole thing yourself as a proper oscilloscope. But I won't be using this stuff here. I'm not even going to use that. I'm actually going to be making a Eurorack module out of this one. So I reckon, Darren, you'd be very interested in that. And basically what this is going to do is this is going to be like having a Korg mini log, and you can watch you craft your own waveforms on a nice, pretty decent sized screen, right? That screen is about the same size screen that's on the back of a GoPro. So that gives you a bit of a size. You can see the size of it next to the, you know. While I'm at it, I'll dig up the photo of what the faceplate looks like. I'm not making the faceplate. I'm not going to go to that sort of trouble. It's, you guys can do it yourselves. This is probably a reasonably, I don't know, reasonably easy project, I would say. Reasonably easy. So, while I'm looking for that, I don't want to sort of pause the stream and have my uncomfortable conversation pauses. We'll go to the guys in chat and see if there's been any questions. about their
Yeah,
questions.
Michael's asked.
Yes.
Asked a
So
question.
Mac Mister's spot on. He's talked about the Plum Audio. Yes, this is the Plum Audio from Pusherman, and it's the DSO 150 Mark II Eurorack conversion panel. And what I'll do is I'll bring up the website. You guys can check it out. Sorry, Inky, I'll get to that in one sec. But I might as well do this while we've got it. Just waiting for the website to load. There you go. So as you can see, Darren, it's only £15 just to get the faceplate, and there's a little circuit board that you also have to get, and you do have to go and order a couple more components to be soldered in onto that, which it's not too bad looking. But there should be a picture somewhere on the internet of what that thing looks like fully done. It's a pretty reasonable project to do, and in the end, you can actually buy these fully made. By the way, they're around about £200, I think, maybe even a bit less than that. So, anyway, Inky, what were you saying? So we can get back to the questions.
I was going to say that we've had some questions. That's exactly what I was going to say.
All right, let's go with them.
So the first one's off Michael, asking us what bit of gear we most use. And we had a comical answer off 888 Berg, which was the mouse.
What gear do we use the most? All right, well, who wants to go first? Inky, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I've got... it's that setup over there. So it's equally an MPC, a circuit, and a mono station.
Yeah.
And a mixer. Yeah.
Yeah, just to go into a little bit more detail.
So I wanted to build a setup, but even though the circuit synths are a bit, not the best, they're very intuitive to do live music on. So I've got them going into the MPC and the mono station into the MPC with audio, and then I can use the MPC effects. And I'm using the MPC for drums as well, and maybe vocals in the future. But it's all designed to make music live. That's the main purpose of it, rather than to be the best sounding music. If you understand.
Yeah. Sounds
Ideally,
good.
I'd like the circuits to control some better synths, but I've tried that, and the more I do that, it's got to be done in stages. I've got to learn to control this really well before I can start adding more to it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So when this decides to refresh itself, there you go. There's Michael's question, which we'll go to you, Darren, while we've got that question still up. What's your most used piece of gear?
That's a bit of a tricky question, really, for me. If you don't include the computer, which I spend quite a bit of time in, I don't know that I could actually point one thing out because it changes from track to track or each time I'm in the studio. My modular gets used quite a bit, even though you don't see it, because I get sounds from that, which then goes into the computer. So the computer's getting used again. My MX1 gets used quite a bit. I tell you what has started to get used, you'll see it in later videos at more chance, is me MIDI Fighter Twist, because that's now starting to get used. Inky, just point that out to you, because...
you enjoying it?
It'll be... Yes, it's controlling software synths and then hardware stuff as well. And when I finish my setup on this side, it's going to be very expressive, the whole side, from in the box and out the box. So that's going to come in very handy. And obviously you do need a computer to set it up, but once you set it up, it's all in the MIDI fighter. You don't need the computer then.
Very nice.
But an actual piece of equipment, I'd have to say probably the modular or the Juno.
Yep. All right, we're going to go to Dazza now, and I'll just bring the question back up because I like to click on buttons. What do you make of Korg's? Oh, sorry, that's not the right one. Hey, what's going on?
No idea about the DIY kits.
Okay. The question was, what's your most used piece of gear?
My video editing software.
There it is.
That's my humorous answer, but also it's not funny because it's true. I get the amount of time I spend editing video compared to the amount of time I actually spend playing is disproportional and not fair.
Yeah, I feel your pain, mate.
The piece of hardware that I use all the time is obviously the montage. It's the center of everything. It's got so much variety and it can be involved in everything very easily. And it's a really good sound card. I'm really happy with the setup I've got at the moment. I'd just like to achieve a better finished result. I'd like to get really good audio. I'd like to get much better video. With the RD8 being new to me, I'm spending a lot of time just on that. And getting to know it and making it work a bit better. But like I said, I get distracted making video. I've got so many projects I'm working on just in the computer, and my whole goal was to get away from the computer. So if there was a way of making better videos easier, I would be hoping to manifest that.
Well, we can definitely bring that up as a topic in future streams. But I actually think, Dazza, probably your most used bit of gear would be your looper, your what is it, the RC505?
Yeah, it can be fairly central, but the stuff I was doing this week, we actually took all of that out, and it was just guitar and piano or guitar and organ. So really raw and simple, and just practicing and just learning and keeping those chops up, being able to play. That's what I enjoy.
Nice.
And then as we go along, we'll incorporate all that other stuff back in again. Yeah.
Well, the question was actually directed at me, so I probably should answer it. So probably I shouldn't put this stuff on top of it, but that centrally would be the most used bit of gear for me, would be the MPC Live. So yeah, it didn't used to be, but it is now anyway. So yeah, I mean, other than that, there's always stuff sort of evolving and changing here, and I don't really like to. I feel like these are like my little children, and I think they get lonely if I don't use them, if they could put them in the cupboard too long. Just while we got that up, Darren, this is just probably more for you. I just wanted to show you what that module looked like when it's all finished, and you can see there's a little expander board on the right hand side of it as well. So let me just make that just so that you only see that. So that's where the little oscilloscope is. You can actually turn off all that little bit of writing and just have the waveform showing. So all of that's all configurable. The expander board is actually really cool. So you can put a standard sort of either a voltage or an audio input into this, and you've got a whole bunch of settings that you can change on it, just like one of these normal oscilloscopes. But that little expander board will give you more options. And I've ordered the expander board, of course, because I think that was just too hard to say no to. So yeah, there you go. So that's that.
Cool.
Now, the next question that we had, let me just go to the queue so I can get rid of the other one. Thanks for that question, Michael. That was actually really cool. The next question was from Finn.
Have we answered him?
Well, we probably have, but let's just go to it anyway, because he goes to the trouble to ask it. So let's put that up there. What do I make of Korg's new venture in DIY kits and pedals? So we do touch on these, the NT1 products. We do touch on them. Inky and I were talking about them the other day, actually. So I actually think they're really, really good for people who want to get themselves kind of into that sort of world of a bit of DIY, a bit of tinkering, but you're a bit scared with this. You don't really want to use the soldering iron yet. So I think it's really good for that. Moog did the workstat. That was similar, where you didn't have to solder in, you just clicked things together and did a few screws in that. But the good thing about the Korg stuff is they're actually configurable. So you can actually make, like, for example, a guitar effects pedal out of the Korg stuff. And it's starting to become a bit more sort of like a platform now. And I think if it gets some legs, it'll probably take off, and you'll start to see some development with that. So my definitive answer to that is I think it's awesome. So you guys probably might remember I did a little video recently on the MIDI boy, and the only reason why I did it was probably a similar reason, although this one you have to solder. But the reason is that, I mean, Arduino's been around for a while now, probably, at least 10 years that I know of, and they're really quite easy. Like, if you don't want to know how to program, but you can just download the sketch and upload it onto this. It's so easy, and lots of people have written things like arpeggiators, Korg sort of players. There was a MIDI monitor on that, so that sort of stuff is pretty cool. And that's kind of the next level where NT1 is kind of filling that sort of beginner void. It can go deep, so I'm not saying it's beginner only. Then the next level is you start to solder, you start to program. That's the next level. And then the next level after that is probably where I'm at, where I'm actually building and designing ideas and kits and putting them together. So yeah, I mean, I'm not anywhere near the level of some of these people that like make up 2600s and things like that. So I would never ever try to be either. I'm novice at this as well.
Can I actually answer the question?
Yeah.
I like them because, but I'm not quite sure what you get if you purchase this thing. I tried to look on Korg. I don't know. Are they going to sell them as actual kits, or do you buy the one thing and then adapt it and buy the box to put it in? But I really like the effects pedal.
Yeah,
because
that
it's going to
definitely
have proper
sounds
jacks.
interesting. Yeah.
It's going to be a really good effects box. It's going to have the same effects that's probably in the wave state. They're probably using the same effects all over the total range, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
So you're going to be getting a box with proper jacks for about 100 quid. That's pretty good for effects, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like Little Bits had that thing. I think Dazza mentioned that in the chat. Like Little Bits. Korg actually were backing that Little Bits technology, and yeah, I've actually seen Little Bits at I can't remember whether it was my younger kids' primary school or whether it was my older kids' high school, but it was somewhere anyway. I saw it. My older kid's definitely done Arduino stuff, so he's made robots and things. He's better than me at this stuff. Just trust me, when I look at this stuff and I think, oh, aren't I clever? Like, kids absolute crap on us compared with their abilities with this stuff. They're just brilliant, and they can build it so much quicker. Like, I'm sort of like, hey, Shani, let's get the soldering on. I'm shaking like anything because I'm getting old, and I have problems with my eyesight. So whereas kids are just straight in and they whack it out real quick. So it's really good to watch them anyway. Keep going with your questions, guys, about setups, and you can ask us anything as well. Of course, that's been pretty cool. I don't mind the old spontaneity on questions. So yeah, what did you think, Darren, of the DSO 150? I don't know if you'd build it yourself, but what did you think of the Pusherman Plum Audio?
I think it looks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I think it looks good. The only problem for me is I really like it, but I just don't. I don't think I could spend the time building anything like that. I'm not too bad with a Solder 9, but I'd probably just buy a Modex or something. I'm just a bit of a. I feel like I'm wasting time trying to do music and stuff if I'm sat for an hour or two or whatever it takes building them. But anyone who does build them, and I congratulate them because I think that's brilliant, and I'd like to do it because it's cheaper. But I just don't have the patience to sit there building something unless it's ridiculously cheaper. But like you say, I just feel like I should be doing something else rather than sat there soldering.
Well, that's why I like the Korg ones, Darren. That's when they sold it to me, when he said, there's no soldering. And you basically just put it together like Lego. I was like, well, I can do that. I can screw a screw in. But when you get to the depths of soldering, it's a big job. And you get it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've done some soldering, and it's all right when it's going fine, and then if you make a bit of a hash of it, then it's a bit of a pain. But no, that's quite cool. Yeah, if it's just putting it together without having to worry about solder, and as long as you don't break anything, yeah, I say I have no problem with DIY stuff, and I think it's great that people make kits for you to DIY and build stuff, because it makes it a lot cheaper for people who can't afford to get a fully made one, and it's good to do. It's just that I don't think I've got the patience, to be honest. I'd be like, I want to be doing something in my music rather than sat here soldering.
Yeah, when I mentioned it to you, I said that it's not for you to build, but you can buy them pre-made, of course. So that was what that was about.
But it does look good, because I do want something like it. Probably would fit. What's the width on it? Because it would probably fit in the little gap I've got.
It is. Oh, I've gone back to the other page. How many HP is it? Does it tell us? 14 HP. Yeah, 14 HP, and then with the little expandable, so maybe 16 HP with the little expander on it.
I've got 16 HP left.
Well, there you go. You'd be able to fit it. So yeah, just thought I'd just do this for Axel Soft. Where are we? There you go. Did I wait for the stream to pick up on this? You guys are wondering, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, I've got ugly feet. I don't need to see yours.
Is it true Aussie men don't wear socks? There you go.
Was you trying to scan them then?
No, that's just me putting my feet on my printer, which just happens to be on the floor at the moment because I was in a rush. But anyway, yeah.
Oh my God, they're all asset. What is this
I've actually got
phenomenon?
I've got calluses from my
It's too cold
thongs.
over here.
We're normal. We've got shoes.
You know what
We can afford shoes.
temperature
hot,
it is
yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
It's probably about What does it say? What does Google say? The temperature right now, it's nearly midnight. It's still 22 degrees Celsius. It's nearly midnight. So there you go. Do I need to wear socks in that weather? No. I do wear socks in, cold. If I have to wear a suit or something, I wear socks. But yeah, how often do I wear a suit? I only have to wear a suit when I go to court. No, I'm just joking.
If I had to wear MIDI shoes, I'd put socks on for that.
MIDI
Especially
shoes.
I'm getting the MIDI shoes first. I'm getting the MIDI shoes first.
Triple Eight Berg's
Because at least
shoe
I've
free
got
as well.
shoes on right now.
Yeah.
Just make sure they've got some LEDs around the side.
I don't even know what MIDI shoes are. You guys have got me intrigued.
I want some shoes. I asked
It's the
Ken
thing.
about this first. Ken Flux, right? I want some shoes that I can control MIDI so
yeah.
that I can make music by dancing.
Tap dancing.
No, basically on the heel. The heel would be the
Yeah.
kick drum, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And then the toe could do like, I don't know, a scatter of a hi-hat or a
fill.
clap or I don't know. Yeah.
Drum fill. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And then maybe you could get
Absolutely.
those rings as well, so that you could do the pads over, the soft bit. But MIDI shoes for drums would be ace.
It's such a great idea. You've seen body suits that are set up, so you tap anywhere on the suit and it sends out a MIDI note. So they've done things, but it's not mainstream. It's not commercial. No one's done commercial shoes.
Well, you can just have one of those.
I want it.
Hand Sonic.
No. The point is, it's got to be for your feet.
You can
Yeah,
tap,
yeah. So,
tap,
Right,
so
I
you
want.
can
I want to
crazy
dance.
with that.
hands free.
Yeah. It's got to be made by my feet. The drum pattern has to be made by my feet.
Yeah.
What's? No, I know that you. But Imogen Heap did it, and I'm sure everybody thought she was crazy. But think about it. If you make dance music and you can dance, you make music to make dance. It's only that step beyond, isn't it?
Well, imagine if you had it controlling
if
the
it doesn't
tempo.
happen soon. If it
Imagine
doesn't
if
happen
each
soon, I'll be too old to try them out. But
Yeah.
no, it'll be creating the rhythm. You'd be creating the rhythm. So if you
Well-
stop dancing, there'd be no noise. You know what I mean?
I do.
The,
I know what you mean.
the montage can sync to an external audio signal's tempo. Imagine if the shoes were controlling the tempo. So if you dance faster, the song goes faster. And then if you stop dancing, it all just collapses in a big heap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of... But I want to be able to control... trigger the sound by the back
And
of
lights.
my heel. Yeah,
Absolutely.
maybe, yeah. Yeah.
You could
I mean,
quite
then-
easily make them. You could quite easily make them yourself.
Probably could.
You need just a
yeah, I
sensor of
couldn't.
some...
No, I couldn't.
Same here, but
I'm lazy. I couldn't.
see, no socks.
It's kind of it, yeah.
But personally, I think this would probably be better for me.
Yeah. That's nice.
But I don't see me dancing on that.
No, you don't
It's
dance.
nice
on
though,
it.
isn't it?
You're more like the church organ player there, aren't you?
They're hard work.
They are. They're good fun though. Well, any sort of organ with the old foot pedals, they were cool fun. I used to love doing that. I used to sort of go bounce, bass, bass, and then you'd sort of smash the chords on the top. When you were a kid, of course. That was always good fun. Yeah, I don't know if those MIDI shoes were actually MIDI shoes, but I just did a quick Google while you were talking about them, and that's what came up. And it looks like someone's got a box with some plugs next to a pair of really smelly sneakers. But yeah, anyway.
Oh, I thought those were your shoes.
No, I don't
I
actually
thought you were
I don't
showing
have
us that you
shoes.
don't wear
I had to
socks.
sell my shoes to buy all this gear.
Mhm.
Yeah. Inky's going to demonstrate her dance moves on the next show, apparently.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I could do that, but I still have a bad broken toe, don't I? Well, not so broken. But I can dance. I got good feet. It's the only thing I can do. It's the only reason I make music, to make myself dance.
Laurie Anderson had a tie, didn't she? She had a tie MIDI controller. Oh no, she had a tie controller and it controlled a sampling tape deck, and she patented it as well. Tie, what do you call it? Tie controller. I don't know if I can find it. It's like she did it in the 80s. I thought it was tie. Maybe it was something else. Someone will tell me if I'm right or wrong. I can't find it. The internet's failing me. She had yeah, that's right. She had a violin as well that you could play, and you literally were playing across the tape. You know, the old-fashioned tape, and you'd play it, and she could control the violin. She was amazing. Well, not was, is amazing. She's still around. Wasn't she married to who was she married to? No, I've forgotten now. I think he died. Anyway. Someone's making jokes about me again.
I can't see all this chat. It's
We're just saying that it'd be nice next stream if Dazza was in Aussies in Causes, and we were suggesting
smugglers.
if I'm gonna dance, he could be in a Cossie.
Yeah.
Married, Lou Reed. That's
With
right,
me
Michael.
thongs.
She was married to Lou Reed. Yeah, she was, and Lou Reed was pretty cool as well, of course. Yeah, that would have been a pretty cool household to be in, wouldn't it? Lou Reed and Laurie Anderson. Wow, talk about creative. Holy crap. Laurie Anderson, I have to admit, she's actually a pretty big influence on me. So yeah, it's interesting how you guys brought her up. Home of the Brave, great live album. If you guys don't know anything about Laurie Anderson, go check out. There's even a movie you can watch where she behaves kind of weirdly on stage, and she kind of sings and tells stories at the same time. But you guys, if you guys are into synths, you'll love that, because there's Moogs and there's Prophet 5s and all this sort of stuff gear on the stage, and you get to see this other chick with crazy hair play all that at the same time as well. Home of the Brave, I think it's got Peter Gabriel in there as well. One of their songs has got Peter Gabriel in it. So yeah, I'm going to dress up as a Bondi lifeguard, am I? I don't think so. I would look like one of those little babies with, with a bonnet on, because fat baby with a bonnet. I'll just put a dummy in my mouth. No, not going to happen. Yeah, sorry.
There was a video that
I'm
went
happy
around
to show the
YouTube.
crikey sign though.
Crikey. There was a video
mate.
went around YouTube. I'd have to dig it up to find it. But the guy had sensors all over him. So he had MIDI triggers like on his head and on his legs.
Yeah.
And as he moved, it was triggering lights and sound and whatever.
Was that Thomas
Yeah,
Dolby?
that's it.
Was that Thomas Dolby that did that?
I can't remember. Maybe. Sounds familiar. Look
Pretty sure it might have been Thomas Dolby.
Okay.
Anyway, don't forget we've kind of derailed. The topic tonight is
Completely.
setup questions, and we haven't really had any. I'm going to ask Inky one. Inky, so your setup that you've got there that you absolutely are gelling with right now.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about it right now, or is it all hunky dory?
No, it's going really well. I did have a problem with the X and Y effects on the sound dipping when you do the X and Y effects on the MPC Live. Do you want me to see if I can show it you?
Yeah, give it a go. When you're ready, show us, and I'll come back to you. Okay. Darren, are you going to give anything away about what's happening with you, or are we still all waiting?
Oh, I thought you meant like a sponsorship or give a synth away or something.
Oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
you can give your Juno to me if you want.
Yeah.
It might be. Hey, you know what shipping's like?
Yeah. Oh, we do. Yeah, we won't talk about shipping.
That beat step up the back there.
That's probably still on a ship.
That's got some dust on it.
Yeah. It has got dust. It doesn't get used very much. I just can't get on with it very well. That and the fader port, which I've still not done anything with.
Well, while Inky's
Sounds
getting
like-
stuff set up, I'll just quickly show you guys something. So during the week, I've been trying to sort out some cabling sort of stuff, right? And one of the things I want to do, and this is kind of all still very, very new, is I don't want to have stuff with, you know how you get, you've got some sort of synth and at the back, you've got all the cables sticking out, and in some cases, they stick out quite a long way, and you don't really want it to do it. And also with the Volkers, for example, the cables stick up really high, and you don't want to have it all sticking up high. So these are a couple of ideas that I picked up. So this is for my key step. So you can see there, that is a USB micro to standard USB, and that means I can just have that plugged in to the back of the key step, and it's not sticking all the way out. So that's that. I've also ordered some ones that aren't on a little length of cable. And what else did I get? These are just ideas for you guys if you haven't thought of them. You can get all this stuff from electronic shops. This is a little L-shaped. I don't know if the camera's going to focus on that. It's a little TRS L-shaped stereo 3.5mm. So, that's good for the top of the Volkers. I'll show you, I've got one in the Volker right now. I'll show you. There you go. So that just sits on the top of your Volker, and then you can sort of angle that out of the way so that you don't have all the Volker wires hanging out in front of you, which I find annoying. And anyway, I think Inky's ready. So whilst I was showing you that, was a good little sort of segue. Go. Inky, you're on.
Right, yeah, so I've got the MPC is acting as mainly as effects, and as a sample and drum machine, and it's the master clock. And then the mono station is going into that, and the circuit is going into that, and I've got exactly the same setup on that side there, right, with a DJ mixer between them, and the aim is to make dance music live as a set, but it's all got to be live. So yeah, I'm managing to do that. I did one yesterday. I've been challenged to do 15 minutes of live improv music on someone's stream, so I've got to get it right. So that's what that's all about.
Good stuff.
That's it, really. That's it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Inky.
So what's
cool.
The trick I'm finding with that type of thing is the preparation. How much prep have you done in advance? What decisions have you made before you start playing for chords, tempo?
This is it. I want to have samples in it, like vocal samples and stuff. But then that is forethought.
Yeah.
And I really want to make it live as possible. So there is no. I start with a drum kit loaded, but it's all done live, and that's the point of it. I want to do it completely live. So it's more a matter of practice and believing you can, because you spend a lot of time going, well, I'm going to do this, and then just don't turn anything on because you're actually really scared of just thinking it's not going to work. But yeah, I've done it. Yeah, it's good. That's
right.
what I'm best at, really. I'm not really good at making. That's where I find my best music comes from. Just live, just being absolutely live. When I start thinking, it starts getting, I don't know, cheesy and horrible and worse rather than better. So I'll stay live until I like it better.
That's awesome.
Good.
Can I just segue here for a sec, because chatties are talking, and I just wanted to answer this question: do they make right-hand or L-shaped MIDI cables? And the answer is yes. That's what they look like. There's a couple of different. There's the brand that I see a lot is Hosa, H-O-S-A or Hosa. These aren't hoses. These ones are a little bit nicer looking, but because they're not quite as bulky at the top. But yeah, there's quite a few different ones out there. So there's the answer to that. Dazza, you were going to say something about Inky's setup. You go.
I've had to think about how long I'm playing for, and I've started to divide things up into like 16 bars. So you set yourself a time limit of 15 minutes. So you can divide that up into 3 lots of 5. So an average progression should go 3.5 minutes to 5 minutes. This is just how I started to think about it. And then, so by that 5-minute mark, you should have queued up a change in what you're doing. If you're making it like a DJ set, a DJ will change it about 2.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. But because I'm playing live and it takes that bit longer to get things looping, I think like 5 minutes is a good point to make a change. So you need like a section 1, a section 2, and the last 5 minutes at the end of it. And when you start thinking like that, you've divided your 15 minutes up into 3. And then you can divide those 5-minute segments up into smaller segments, and it comes down to like a 16 bars, 32 bars. Well, that'll take you up to 1 minute. So you only really need to loop so many times.
I've noticed that my particular I do a jam for about 3 minutes, and then I'm getting out of it. Coming from a DJ's point of view, I get someone told me to make longer tracks, but I get really bored. I have to change it. I think that's because I was a DJ and I like dancing. So once I've made the track, then my biggest panic is, I've got to stop the track or get out of it. Whereas if you're mixing, you only have to think about that on the last track. So that's quite good, because you've always got one track playing, and then you're mixing into another track, and then you don't have to wind that track down. You're just mixing to another track, and then turning that track off and making a new track. So that's quite good.
Are you changing to another preset? Have you got a preset that's ready to go that'll match the first thing that you're playing? So
no, it's totally live. That's why That's why I know the circuits aren't the best synths. But the one thing that struck me about the circuits a year ago was you could get to know them like the back of your hand. Right? They've got different sets of samples in, but I know them like the back of my hand. So
you know what's coming up and what's available.
Yeah, but it is experimental, and you've got to be lucky. But that's the point. I don't want, because I really wanted to put samples in, vocal samples and stuff like that. But then that's not live, and I really want to do this live, and then see where I go from there. You know, once I've done that, I'll be happy.
Do you mean your own vocal samples or someone else? Can you record yourself making vocal sound into the MPC and loop that?
This is something I've thought about. This is the one way I could do it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the next step.
It is.
Because if I start doing that now, it's just doing another. Yeah, but very good point.
It's a big step, and when you put that vocal into it, it suddenly makes a whole other connection with the audience. But it is that next step, like you say, it's a big step. Cool. But good luck. But
there are plans.
I don't think it should be that hard. I think you start by playing. The biggest problem I've had is I'll go for an hour. Like I plan to go for 20 minutes, and I've played for an hour, and it's when I look back at the video, it's too repetitive, and so I've learnt by watching the videos that I've made. Oh, crikey, I'm going along too long there. It was fun when I was making it, but it's not fun to watch. So it's got to have a quicker transition to more variety.
But that's kind of what jamming. That's kind of what jamming is, right? Jamming is kind of It's in a way, it's kind of like sound design and playing at the same time. You're kind of trying to find your idea, whereas what Inky's trying to do is she's trying to sort of make live sort of sets, finishing, so she can move from one to another. She's progressing, which is kind of like how Robert Miles used to do it. He used to do exactly that. He used to only do, 3 no more than 4 minutes. Some songs, like Children went longer, but that was because they wanted him to do it. But he actually didn't like that. He actually was like Inky, wanted to do, 2, 3, 4 minute songs, and then just mix in between each song. So you're just fading in between each song, whether you're beat syncing or whether sometimes you might change the tempo. It's all that's actually part of the performance, and the quick movement. Actually, the younger generation prefer music to move quicker because, like Inky said, they get bored. So if you've got something that just keeps like the same beat repeating, people will start going to the bar. They'll start, walking out to a different club. You got to keep them on their feet. You got to keep them interested, and you just got to keep throwing things at them as quickly as you can. There's also there's also a thing where you can do it too quick as well, and people will just that sounds too noisy. So you got to be careful. It's actually a very, very hard thing to get right. So she's spot on what she's talking about. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, fans.
I want to follow your progress.
Well, she does videos. I don't know how many she's done lately, but she does videos.
I haven't done any lately. You would probably. I discovered I could do live jams when I did really well in the hardware jams competition, particularly when it was a jam from scratch. Because I've won all of those, and the only time I didn't do really well was when I thought about something. I thought, well, these people are liking what I'm doing live, and that's what I want to do. So there will be a video coming up because I did my first jam that I would put on video. That won't be live. That'll be me playing the jam I made live yesterday. But I'm working my way up to do this stream, which should be in the next month, and it's got to be 15 minutes. So, that'll be out there. So
okay, you said you had a fear before. You mentioned fear. What is? Can you put your finger on the fear? Because the psychology of this whole thing is really interesting to me.
Well, it's the same fear as you come on here. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Just before you come on here, I panic. I'm panicking. I'm sweating. I'm thinking, what am I doing? And then once I'm here, it's fine. Yeah. And it's like that with music. You look at it, and for a split second, you think you go dry, don't you? But as soon as you put a drum beat in, it all just comes out, and it's.
Yeah.
But you always have that fear. You're always going to have that fear that you're rubbish. Everybody has that fear about everything. It's just natural, isn't it?
I am rubbish. What are you talking about?
Well, that's it. You might as well admit it to yourself before anyone else says
I've
it.
just stopped caring. I've just stopped caring about what people think. I do this for me. It makes me happier and healthier. So, what does it matter if people like it or not? My videos, some people seem to really like them, and some people seem to really not like them. I just really divide people. But does it matter to me? No, it doesn't have to. Only if I take it on board does it matter.
Yeah. Yep.
If I let it in, people's opinions.
Whatever you do, don't listen to the statistics, if that makes sense. Listen to when you do a video, especially on YouTube, when people write comments, they're the ones that you listen to. Sometimes they might be negative, but if someone's taken the time to actually say something negative, they actually really want you to know. And they might not necessarily be the best way of communicating to you, but you got to read into it. It's actually trying to help you. So I wouldn't look at things like how many likes, how many views, how many thumbs down. That sort of thing to me is kind of irrelevant, in the sense that music doesn't really sort of belong in that influencer genre. Does that make sense? We do influence in a different way in music, but it's not that type of influencing sort of world. We sit more in like a timeless world of influence. Those influencers, they have to get stuff out before it scrolls by. They need likes. They need the quick, internet kind of craze. That's what they need. So YouTube, in a sense, is probably built more for that. But the good thing about it is that we as musicians, we can use the same platform to reach other people. And whether someone likes it or not, it's not really relevant. I really don't think at all. Like, we were talking about this on a forum, literally over the last couple of days. And I think the general gist of what I read in that forum was most people had different opinions of what a good synth / electronic musician YouTuber should be, and that's exactly what I would have expected the outcome to be. So everyone's opinion of who's going to be a good YouTuber in the synth / electronic music sort of area, there's people that were saying that they liked Nick Batt. There's people that they're saying that they liked the loop hop guy. There's people that are saying they like Bo Beats. There's people that are saying they like Cuckoo. And they all had different reasons for why they liked all these different people. And actually, one of the things that I was bringing up was, well, who do you like best as a musician? Because that's really where I think we should sit. Like, the stuff I do is kind of secondary to my music. But, like Dazza keeps saying to me that I should do more of my music, which is something I am doing. I'm working on it. But I think, if you're going to put your music out there, you're really, in a way, you're not really. You should really just put it out there and just let it fly, without you having any strings attached to it. Does that make sense? Just let it. Once you've released it, it's like a gas. It's gone, and just let it float out into the ether and let it do whatever it's doing. It's now a living, breathing thing that people can pick up and do what they want with it. They can use it however they want, whether it makes them feel fuzzy, whether it makes them disgusted, whatever their reaction. That's a personal reaction. And I was talking to my daughter today about music, right? And she was arguing with her mum. She was going, "Mum, you always play the same stuff, blah blah blah. You should play more upbeat." Mum plays, her mum plays sort of love song stuff, and she's always wanting sort of more upbeat, energetic sort of stuff. And I said, well, what about when you're in a mood where you want to relax? She goes, oh, yeah, I guess so. So what sort of music would you listen to then? And she's like, oh, yeah, I probably would listen to sort of slower stuff and more chilled out. And I went, yeah. So just because right now you're in a mood where you want a sort of energetic sort of feeling, and you want her to change it because that's in the mood you're in, and she's obviously not. Do you know what I mean? And everyone in the world is kind of fighting with everyone because they all have different opinions, and really at the end of the day, it's kind of personal. How you interact with music is very personal.
I definitely.
And I think that any true musician knows that, don't they? Because I don't go listening to heavy metal channels and then commenting I don't like your music, because and any negative comments I've ever had, I've always been from people who haven't posted anything anyway. So
yeah, that's always the case.
Right. So they don't know how hard it is, because your first video is awful. You know, my first video is still on my channel. It's terrible. But you have to go through that and you get better at it. And, you know, it's their choice if they don't like it.
That's your journey.
Everybody
too.
has a choice.
Your first video to your current video is actually like a journey. I mean, I make so many mistakes. I'm still making them. You know, you guys, and I laugh about them and things, but you know, who cares? That's part of life. You know, we can't. I don't like people who want everything to be plastic and perfect. I don't have time for people like that. And those people probably have something to hide in their backyard anyway. So, you know, let's just
you don't
embrace.
You don't want to party with those people. They're not very good at a party. So
Nah.
Sure, but just getting back to the fear factor that can inhibit creativity, it does come down to the fact that we're in a public forum. We're putting this up in front of people, and we're putting up for it to be judged by other people. Someone like Ramsey is working at a higher level than I'm working at. It's actually nice to be in the position I'm in, where it doesn't matter too much, and I can just do what I do and put it out there, and it really, there's not being seen by that many people. But it's been a topic of discussion during the week, particularly in YouTube. People like Russell Brand, people like Logan Paul are talking about the psychology of when you're trying to feed the algorithm, when you're responding to the statistics and trying to gear your videos towards what you think is going to work for the audience. And people are becoming very self-aware about this now because it's affecting their mental health. They've had to do things like make one video that you know is going to please the audience, but make one video that's just for you. Obviously, these people are working at a bigger level than I'm at, but I am hoping to grow the channel. I'm hoping to bring more of my own personality through in what I'm doing and actually explain my philosophy, just as I'm talking to you about it now.
I don't think we should.
Darren,
I honestly don't think we should be fearful though. Does that make sense? Fearful is.
No, but I
fearful's not where I
understand
want to
Daz's
go.
point. I understand Daz's point, and Daz has got a really important point, right? So last year I went on Geosynth's channel, and then I had some subscribers, only a few, but I knew who they were, and because I respected them, I didn't do anything for ages because I didn't know what to do, because I was conscious that I wanted to please them. Rather than doing what I should do best and just doing it for me, I was like, well, I've got these people watching now, and I must be a certain level, and blah, blah, blah. It didn't occur to me that they joined because of all the rubbish I'd put on before, you know, but I'm now expecting myself to pull a miracle out of the hat to you know, suddenly become a superstar because some people I like are watching me. And it totally messed my head up. And and you're right, what you're saying, Daz. We should make music for us, and then that's where music comes from, not from thinking what should I do, and it comes from you enjoying it.
Yeah, before you go, Daz, I just wanted to, because I was talking and I wanted to let Inky go. I was heading in that sort of where you finished up your main point, Inky, was that like we need to just get it out there for us, like. It's the release, like I was saying before. That's what we should be concentrating on. Yeah, I mean, we all have quality about what we do. That's what you can be fearful of. You can be fearful of your own ability and quality, but you should never be. I don't think you should ever be fearful about what you can't control, and that's the unknown. That's the other people out there. I reckon the best way to concentrate fear energy is on the things that you can control, and that is like. Did I do a bum note on that key or fix it? You know, those sort of things that are in control. That's where your fear is. And definitely, absolutely no way would I agree with Russell Brand about like conforming to the algorithm. Like hell no, because that is exactly the reason why the music industry is the way it is now. It's because we've conformed to an algorithm.
Yeah,
Russell Brand.
Before you know it, everyone's going to be making sausage, you know, compressed tracks, and we're all going to have all sausages out there.
Can I just clarify?
Russell Brand has conformed to his own algorithm. He made such a mistake in the UK. I don't know if you lot heard about it.
Yeah, we heard.
He drastically had to reform his character. Yeah. So I mean, I do kind of half listen to him, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to really have any respect for that man again. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
it's too late. He's too late.
Yeah.
He is. I think
I
a
just-
lot says he does to get popular. I don't think he believes most of it. To be honest, sorry.
Like, what about these?
Sorry, Russell.
These idiots that keep saying on their videos, like, you know, I think I used to do it, and I've definitely grown up. Because the only reason why I did it is because YouTube tell you to do it, right? And I don't agree with it now. Stop asking people to subscribe. Stop asking people to like. Stop asking people to freaking
I've
comment.
done that.
If you do
No.
that, right? You're basically, it's almost
Begging.
like it's begging, right?
Selling yourself, yeah. I like. We've got Inverted Popes on here, and on his videos, he goes, "It's the most politest thing ever." It's like, consider subscribing. Possibly consider subscribing.
Yeah, it's cool
And
how
I
he
thought,
does
well,
it.
that's good. That's good. But I agree. It's like begging. Why? I'm begging you to like me. Why? So I've got so many likes or so many.
What
I
does it
want you
matter?
to be here because you like me. I want I want to be here.
So
I want you to be here because you're enjoying it.
So Inky, I'm obviously we're on the same page, but so then what? Okay, you got liked, then what? You're gonna want someone else to like you, then what? Do you know what I mean? Like,
No.
it's almost gluttony in a way. It's leading to gluttony
Yeah.
for no reason.
But at a
there's a way
certain
to
point, you
fix
can make
that.
a living.
But there's a way to fix that as well. So I know a lot of my subscribers, they've become friends, like Darren, and then you can't have too many because it gets too many. You can't keep up with anyone. So that kind of negotiates that I want to be paid and have 50 million subscribers thing. Because I don't think we're going to do that as musicians anyway. I think if you want to get paid properly, you're better off doing a prank channel on the side.
The paying side, I'll leave alone because there's some ethics and there's some not ethics. I'll just leave that one alone because I think everyone will be divided with that one. But definitely with the likes and asking to subscribe, I just think just let it be organic. The more you let it go, probably the more real that will feel for you anyway. Just do your video, get your point across. If you need to talk, don't rabbit on too much. And most people in the synth and music tech industry just want to see and hear what it is that you're showing anyway. So get to it as quickly as you can. Don't have this massive friggin'. I've done this mistake. Don't have a friggin' massive long rant at the start of your video where you just gasbagging. I actually suffer from that because I don't know. I can't shut up. But anyway, I need to improve. But if I was going to give anyone advice, just don't rant too much before you do the video. Just get straight into it.
Can I get a couple of things off my chest? I just going back to the Russell Brand thing. He wasn't saying like what they were saying is it's become a problem for people. They were talking in the nature of addiction and fame addiction. So they're trying to look at positive ways of reversing this. And many of them, like Logan Paul, he also made a huge stuff up in his career where he had to reflect on what he was doing and change his brand somewhat. But we're talking millions of subscribers, and we're talking a massive influence on the zeitgeist. That's a level I think it's unlikely any of us are going to achieve. But to what Inky was saying, just having you guys comment on my video, suddenly I'm more conscious of, hey, I've got these people who I know and they're reacting to what I'm putting out, so it has to be of a better quality. And I've got a couple of things that back 6 months ago I would have just put out because I don't think anyone's even watching. Now I've actually put a couple of things aside and thought, no, I've got to do that better, or I've got to work that audio a bit more. But I'm still just recording a stereo file into the computer, and that's what I release. I'm adding some mastering to it, but that's it. So what you hear is the performance. So there's bum notes in it. Ramsey was saying about correcting bum notes. I can't do that. There's video I put out this week, and we're making mistakes. But it's early on. But the thing is, it's a jam. It's two guys in a room really playing music, and there's a fair bit of talent there as well, and you can hear that if you listen to it. So I kind of like that it's got that to it. And the more we work on it, the more I progress, it just gets better and better. So,
but Dazza, it's a jam. So
it's a journey. It's a journey.
It's a jam. Yeah. You're doing a jam. You're not in front of 50,000 people at Wembley Stadium. You know what I mean? Like, and they've all paid £200 to see you. It's a jam. So if you've got a bum note, big deal. When I made that point about the bum note, that it was more about, you know, they're the fears that you can control. That was the point I was trying to make. So, you know, I suffer from depression. You guys know that. I've talked about it before. And I get treated for it, and I see my doctor regularly, and YouTube is actually one of my treatments. And it's one of my treatments because what it does, especially this live stream. So, you know, if you want to look at this from a psychological point of view, all the stuff that we talk about on this channel is stuff that I love, and it's stuff that you guys love. So it's good for you to talk about things that you're passionate about and interested in. But at the same time, what it does is it forces me to be responsible, because people are wanting me to be every week. They would be pissed off if I didn't show up. And, you know, if I was late or if I didn't do the stream for 3 or 4 weeks, you know, they'd probably start abandoning me, you know. So it creates, for me and my development, you know, for my own benefit, it creates a world that I not necessarily am forced to do because I actually enjoy it, but it creates kind of another level for me. And that helps me, you know, music is something that helps me with depression on its own without doing YouTube. But YouTube helps me get out of my social fears. And my social fears are real because it's actually clinical. But, you know, you've got ways to control them. Because remember how I was saying before, fear should only be something that you should be able to control or not control, right? You shouldn't be fearing about something that doesn't, you know, is out of your control. Like I fear that there's a meteor that's going to crash into Earth and destroy us all. I mean, or I might not drive today because I'm worried that someone's going to hit me with a bus. That sort of stuff is like, people have fears like that, and that sort of stuff is wrong. Or I'm going to fear if I put this video up, they're going to hit the dislike button. You know, like that sort of shit. Just don't worry about it. It's crap. It's like I said, statistical. The statistical side of YouTube is really irrelevant for us musicians. Like, if someone doesn't like your song, that's because they're into pogo music and they do polka every weekend, you know? And they just happen to, when they do polka, they just happen to use a Korg Volca or something. I don't know.
Volca polka.
Polka.
Hey, it's really good of you to talk openly about it, Rance. We need this on the table, and it expands the dimension of what we're doing here. Okay, it brings in the human element.
And I'm sure there's people in the chat room in similar situations. Like, we all have different, you know, demons and battles in our life. So, you know. Darren, Darren, are you?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying poor Darren, no live chat. Are you? Everything okay with you? Your audio working?
Yeah, I couldn't get a word in. I thought I'll let them all talk. No,
sorry, I can't. Bad.
That's our fault.
I can't see the live. I can't see the live chat, so I can't chat back, unfortunately. That's YouTube for you. What was I going to say then? Completely lost.
I'll pass on a message for you, Darren. What do you want to say in the chat?
No, if anyone's asking me something or just wondering where they are, that's all. I just can't see the live chat or type back today. So
there's a live
chat. I'll type in an accent.
I've got 2 iPads, and they're both running a sort of lower iOS, and now YouTube has done something in the past 21st, I think it was, and it wants me to update the 2 iPads, which I can't update because they won't go up to iOS 11, so I can't use them for live chat. That's why I'm not there. The second thing I was going to say is I agree with all what you're saying, really. Every time I get a new subscriber, I do always say, or I always comment back that there'll be lots more videos coming up, but you don't know what it's going to be, because I don't know what it's going to be, because it could be anything. So the video that goes up, or the track that goes up on the Sunday, is pretty much how either I'm feeling or I've been feeling writing that track, and that's why that one goes up. So you never know whether it's going to be a trance, ambient, dance, you name it, it could be anything. So yeah, and like I say, if anyone does thumb you down, doesn't matter. I mean, you'd like them to actually put a comment on why they don't like it, but who cares really?
They-
I'm putting
they
my
never
music up
do.
there because I like it.
Yeah,
No, they never
probably-
do.
They won't. They won't
never
have a
do.
reason. That's why.
Yeah, they get a thumbs up and they sort of write, why they like it. But if you get one down, it's very rare that they comment on it.
The fact that
I
we're
got
talking
one.
about it is funny.
I got a comment. He put. Are you lot all insane? How are you liking this shit? Can I say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you lot all insane? How can you all be liking this shit? And I got really paranoid. Not
Yeah.
for the music, but for my friends. I was like, you know, some of the people on YouTube I consider my friends now. And I'm like, well, are they just being nice? Are they just all being nice? Is it really terrible? And I sat there for 5 minutes and I thought, then I went to his channel and then I thought,
Yeah.
no.
No
Yeah,
videos. you go to their
That's
channel.
right.
They got no videos.
I've got a filter up that limits those comments. So you aware of that function in YouTube that can limit nasty comments? And I think I probably get more comments than I get to see because they'll realize I've got that filter there, so they take their comment away. So those people just sort of take themselves out the door.
Yeah, I've got that. The only problem is I found some subscribers commenting it was going into junk and not showing up. And then a few days later, I'd check it out and go, oh, they asked me a question about 2 days ago. It looks not bothered.
Yeah, just ignore them. Don't worry. I mean, I don't even look at the junk folder. If YouTube chucks it in junk, it's probably not even worth looking at. 9 times out of 10, it's just some idiot saying something wrong anyway.
No, these have been genuine comments. So I've had to tell YouTube that I want to keep them commenting. I think that's a couple of yours a few months back was just disappearing into junk for some known reason. And it was and I didn't see him for a few days.
Okay. I
don't
think
now.
It is an algorithm, so you gotta
Maybe.
kind of you gotta teach it. And I think each
I don't
channel
remember something like that.
each channel would have a new sort of learning setting, so it would need to get to know your channel. So you probably need to go into the back end and start mucking around with that. Hey, I want to change, not necessarily topics, but I just want to change, I don't know what the word is. Change gears would be a good word. Okay, what I'm doing now is I want to show you
We got a
guys.
question.
Yeah, we'll get
Got
to
a
that.
question.
Yeah, I'll add it to the queue. Bang, it's added to the queue. All right, so I want to show you guys. This is going to go bang. Here we go. So this is my little handheld camera that I like to sort of move around the studio. I got this thing the other day. Now what this is, you can get this off Amazon if you've got Amazon in your country. It's a little HDMI box that you can record your HDMI video camera feed onto a little thumb drive, or it's even got a little micro SD or TF card slot on the side as well. And basically I got it to sit at the back of my A10 Mini, which is here. And what it does is it feeds the output of the A10 Mini, and then you can actually then plug that into a monitor. So you can see there's a monitor there. And what that does is that just gives me now, let me just move the camera back a little bit so you guys can see better. But now that there gives me a little video control. See that little monitor I've got the top left hand corner? Right, that's the little Shinobi. You've got the A10 Mini and you've got the Evolve. Now I've got 4 buttons to press, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the A10 Mini if I need to do different camera angles. So now what I'm actually planning on doing is with my jams, I'm literally, I'm going to set basically 1 overhead camera and 3 sort of angled cameras, right? And then what I'm going to do is, if I know that I'm going to go and start knob twiddling on a certain synth, I'll hit the button on the A10 Mini, which is for that camera. And literally that takes a split second to hit a button on the A10 Mini. And all of that is being recorded. I don't have to touch it. It's just recorded to a little SD card. And then at the end of it, video is recorded and audio is recorded. All I might have to do a little bit of post-processing, but I don't have to do any edits. And this is the big thing for me. If I'm going to do jamming videos again, that's why I stopped doing them. Because before I would have 4 or 5 cameras. I'd have to pull all the SD cards out, copy all the files across to Windows, right? And then you'd have to bring it into Adobe Premiere. You'd have to do the clap sync with the, to make sure that they're all synchronized with the audio. And it's just a pain. And then you'd have to edit the frames out that you didn't want. And then you'd have to sync, merge between camera 1 and camera 2. And it took ages. And this is what Dazzle was saying before about spending your life editing a video. And what I want is I want to spend more time jamming, and then I kind of just want to hit a button. Okay, that camera's on. Hit a button, that camera's on. Whatever. And just don't worry. At the same time, I'll have each camera has its own SD card, so I'll be recording on them as well, just in case I've stuffed up and forgot to hit a button. But as I get better at it, this is the whole point. And the other benefit too is that this thing weighs about, like a packet of chips, like a packet of crisps. It's so light, and you could, it runs off a USB 5-volt power, so you could power it off of a little battery pack. You could actually make that whole thing portable if you wanted to, and take it somewhere like to a club, Inky, like you're doing clubs. You could have a couple of GoPros set up. You could have a camera pointing at the crowd, and you could have, some sort of weird, visualizing thing projected onto the back wall behind you, and you could have all those as camera feeds, and bang, you could just hit a button as you're, doing all your other stuff, hit a button, and people are getting all that. So to me, I think that's where I want to go with it. That's kind of my little bit of fun. And so I think performances for me have to be visual as well. As like Jean-Michel Jarre was the laser guy, right? He did that in the 80s. So he said that if I'm going to go and perform in front of crowds, they do not want to see me sit up in front of an eminent organ and just play chords or twiddle knobs we'd like that because that's what we're into, right? But he knew that the average person, they'd want to see something, a bit of wow factor. So he started doing lasers, right? He started doing lasers off of buildings. But you get my point. So with me, I want my live performance to be musical and visual at the same time, and I kind of want to be able to sort of, like I do with launching clips musically, I want to be able to, change a video stream as well. So that's kind of, I thought I'd tell you guys that anyway. That's kind of where I'm heading. I'm going to do videos on my setup as well. People have been asking me actually how do I do live stream and how do I do all that sort of stuff. So we'll get to all that too, definitely. So I don't know if that interests anyone, but yeah. Now, 888 Burke's question. Bang. Is there any money in music for non-pros in music? Are we destined just to play gigs? Is DistroKid just a waste? Well, I don't know. I think that it depends on the individual. That's my answer. So DistroKid is a way. The way I see Distro, I actually like DistroKid. There's a way to get your music out there, which probably wasn't as easy in the past. Like you had to use other distributors. So DistroKid's making it more accessible to the not so wealthy. Maybe is a way to say it. And I actually, to me, that it feels kind of cool. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but it feels kind of cool to go on to Spotify and your album's there, as well as Peter Gabriel. You know what I mean? Like you're equal in that platform, right? He might have more listens than you, but that's because he's been doing it since the 80s, in the 70s, But just, you know what I mean? Like for me, it's kind of, it's not. Once again, it's one of those questions about popularity. If you're good, people will pick you up. The only way to make sure that you get known, though, is you've got to play live. If you're sitting in your home studio and just putting your music up on DistroKid, it's going to be a hard slog. It's going to take a while. YouTube will help because that's getting out there a bit, but you actually do have to go and play live. There's no question about it. If you're not playing live, your music career will be fairly low key. That would probably be. There are some exceptions to that, but that's a pretty general rule, I would say. So is there money in music for non-pros? Well, define a non-pro. That's the other thing. Define a non-pro. I mean, look at, I'm just like, off the top of my head, I'm having mental blanks, but I know of famous songs that hit number one where the musicians were doing the song either as a joke or they had absolutely no musical ability at all. Like they used people like Stockake and Waterman, and do you know what I mean? Like those sort of
producers.
So there's plenty of examples of people being non-pros that made
I
massive
made
money.
a joke. I made a joke during the week about the difference between professional doorless jammers and amateur doorless jammers, and someone chimed in, "I like ha 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 professional doorless jammers," but actually there are people making money from that because they've got enough revenue streams coming in, and I think Berg was the example given. So I don't know if you'd even call him professional at what he does, but he's got the views to be having enough income coming from YouTube and,
well, he plays live.
Spotify and
he
other
plays
things.
Live. There's your key. He plays live, and if you don't believe me, he's got videos on his channel where he's done recordings of him playing live in clubs, and obviously he doesn't record them each time. So he's played a lot more than what you see on his channel. So
he's also supporting every platform as well.
He's definitely, if you want to pick people's brains, he's definitely a good one to pick. To play Berg for you especially too. If you want to know, how to get from A to B, and he's still, and the way he would talk about it is he's still got a long way to go in his mind. So, you want to go from A to B, talk about when he comes on the stream next, and he'll probably be on soon, no doubt. He's usually pops in fairly regularly now, which is good. It's good to have guys like him, and also we get Ken as well on, So definitely that's the whole thing. I'm trying my hardest to get new people. So I do have some new people that are thinking about coming on. So we'll see. But these guys here are pretty special. These are your core.
Oh, yeah.
This is where it's at.
Oh, I can vacate my square. That's okay.
We've been kicked out, Gaza.
Yeah, I know.
Us two are gone.
I've actually got some.
We're always at the bottom as well.
I got some good news.
Okay.
Never at the top where Darren is.
Yeah.
So we've got.
We're downstairs.
This is for the people that have watched my stream for about a year now. So we've got there's a small problem when all these guys here want to play something at their end, the audio quality is all compressed, and all the dynamics is taken out, and it sounds okay, but technically it's the the value of a phone call over the internet. So it's IP based phone call. So there is a new solution that I've been presented with the people that make this streaming software that I'm using right now, and I had a bit of a chat to Inky about it, and haven't talked to Darren yet because he's not on socials, so I can't really talk to him unless I have an old-fashioned email conversation with him. But one day you'll get there. So basically what it is that we can have someone with a light version of this streaming software at their end. The only problem is it works only on Windows at the moment. And they can actually call through like they're using at the moment, but actually using the streaming software to call through, which circumvents the problem, which is that at the moment they're using a web browser, and they're using a protocol in their web browser called WebRT, which compresses audio and video because it's inside the code of the browser. And because the people that make this software have got no control over what code goes in a browser, that's Google or Safari, Apple, the solution is just to have a smaller version. This is the pro version, but there's a small version so you can get the streaming software, and they can connect. Now, the good thing about it is they can then determine how much bandwidth they've got. If they've got a slow internet, they can lower it down. If they've got a really good internet connection, they can have 1080p, I think up to 4,000 kilobits per second, which you would get 320k, which is the highest you're going to get on a stream at the moment. That will improve as technology improves, but at the moment 320k is all that YouTube will do anyway. And 320k sounds like muted it. What comes out of my stream, that's what 320k sounds like. So it's acceptable. Now, we're going to try this out. We're going to do some testing. Berg's definitely going to be looking at it doing, why am I bleeding? So, yeah, I think that's good news. So stay tuned. I'm really excited about this because one of the big passions for me, let me mute that. That's the flanger pedal going through the Chaos Granular 2 setting, and it's creating its own drone. A noise drone. Anyway, so I think where I want to go, I mean, one of the things I'd love to do, Inky, we never really got to do it, was to jam over a stream, you know. And I reckon it's possible. We need to prove that still.
Yeah. I had to go, because we didn't do it, I had to give a presentation, and then they go, did you try it? And I went, no. But,
obviously, we should still try it. We should definitely still try it. Yeah.
I still think it's possible.
Anyway,
What do you think, Darren?
I know that's
Darren
kind of
should
geeky,
speak.
but yeah, Darren, you need to speak more.
I've just been listening to my damn clickety blooming audio coming back, and it's annoying the heck out of me, and I can't solve it. It's
Yeah.
only from one I can hear you, and I don't know whether you're getting it clicking at you. Just
Yeah,
almost like very minute dropouts.
Yeah, we get a click. Yeah. Sorry.
Did you check your wire?
Yeah, it's exactly the same setup as I had before it started doing it. You know what it's like, and for some reason I cannot work out why it decided to start.
Is it a plug-in?
Little
Have you
tiny
got a spare wire?
Yeah, I've tried that. When I'm not on here, it's fine. There's no dropouts anywhere. It's clear as a bell. And it's just when I just come on for some reason, the sound coming back is just like really does me head in.
Hey, Dazza, we're safe because it looks like Darren's going first.
Yeah.
He's just going to drop out, is he?
Well, the other thing too is that I mentioned before about my internet getting upgraded, so I'll be able to take more calls on. Where I'm at the moment is 4 would probably be stretching. I would love to know how many megabits per second my uplink is currently doing right now. It'd be pretty insane. So 4 is pretty much as I can do. But with the new one coming in, we should be able to go further. So, you know, the only thing is though, like visually, that's pretty small, like just with 4 squares. I think if we went sort of 6 or more.
No, 9.
Yeah.
Brady Bunch with Lindsay in the middle.
It's going to, basically we're just going to have to switch, like big full screen like that. So we won't be able to do a little 4 square, which I like. I like our 4 square because you can see us all sort of react at the same time. I don't know. These questions haven't been coming that much tonight, so it looks like a lot of people are pretty good with their setups.
Yeah, because it was on about yourselves, isn't it? Everyone must think our setups are all right.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question. Actually, I'll bring this up because I think it was the other week. I think you said, Ramsey, that you like to have things. The stuff that you're using likes to be connected, and then anything that you don't use is unconnected, and you just keep it quite simple to those items. Inky's moved a bit like me, where I like to have virtually everything hooked up, which does have its problems in one way, but I like everything to be hooked up so that I can just sit here, and I might not use, say, a synth for months and months on end, and then I just go, oh, I want to use that. And it's still connected and it still works. So, and I think Inky's moved that way as well, where she wants everything to be all connected rather than move stuff about. I don't know about you, Dazza. Do you have everything all connected?
What were we talking about? I wasn't even listening. I was in the chat. Sorry. What's the question?
Oh, well, there you go. You see, it shows you how interesting I was.
Sorry, Darren. I was sorry. I was responding to questions there.
He was talking in chat.
I can only think of one thing at a time too, Darren. I'm really bad like that. One track mind, totally. We were talking about.
I was on about setups, and I was saying up to now, as far as I know, Inky's on the same way as I have, where all our gear is pretty much hooked up, in place, ready to go. Even if you might not use it for months on end, you can switch it on, and it's hooked up ready.
Yeah.
Whereas Ramsey's moved to the point of where he He only uses what he wants is hooked up, and then the other stuff's put away.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm exactly like you. I went through a phase over Christmas, like I've told you about, where I got really disjointed with things. I was trying to rearrange and trying to find a better way to do this and trying to have the montage at the end of my signal chain, and it just discombobulated my creativity so badly. And I've put it back the way I like to have it, and it's like coming home. It's like everything's plugged in the way it should be. You can see the mixer behind me, so I've got all these channels to plug in. That's only on loan, but I'll be able to buy that or better pretty soon. So I've got my own one. I've just bought a new stand. That stand you can see just behind my hand there. I've just got one that's got a crossbar, so there'll be a table going on top of there very soon. And so I've got about 3 or 4 bits of gear, like the MC808 just can't fit in here at the moment. That's all going to go on there, and the goal is to leave it hooked up. So it's a matter, you just plug in and you play, or I have guys come over, we move the bed out, we've got the room to play with, and we just plug them in. He comes with a good guitar sound. The one thing we have to work on now is a microphone chain. We have to get a good vocal chain for 2 people, 2 or 3 people, because we've got a third guy that can sing with us. And there's a female vocalist in the background that I really want to bring in, but she's just busy with stuff at the moment. But even before we do that, I need this vocal chain. We need to know that the mic goes into that compressor, into that setup, and it's no mucking around. You know, the biggest hassle I have is when I go out and play live, and I have to unplug everything, take it out with me, plug it in, set up, play, unplug it, pack it back in the car, bring it back home, bring it back in here, and then I try to have it set up before I go to sleep that night. So I wake up the next day and it's ready to go. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it's just turn it on and it's ready to go. And the levels should always be at the same level. So it's the level. This is a big thing we've had to work on, getting the gain staging to match consistently. So yeah, I'm in a position now where I'm just tweaking the gain staging to get the guitar level with the keyboard, making sure the organ, when I change from piano to organ, it's going to match. So the next thing I've got to do is work on having presets that are all consistent levels, or that play to what's going on with the drums and so on. So yeah, definitely. That's the long answer.
No, nice one.
Cool.
Fair enough. Okay, so we did get a question. Where was it? Oh yeah, John Cuba's back. Nice to see you, John. How you going? Good to see you. We're kind of just talking about setups today, and I just thought it was an interesting topic because we don't really sort of talk about them. So you guys mentioned, like me, with this setup, and mine kind of evolves. I'm a little bit like Inky, how she gets bored with when she's playing music and she doesn't want to play a song too long. I get bored with gear, so I kind of like I ban it. I banish it. Go to the cupboard. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, you know, I've had enough of you. Go to the cupboard. So that's why I do it. I get rid of it because for me it can be a distraction in a way, and I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean I've definitely done where I've had more gear out and more connected, and I definitely have the facility to connect probably all my gear up if I wanted to. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it can get a bit convoluted though when you've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm always kind of mindful though, if I'm going to make a track, am I going to be able to reproduce that track without having to bring like 50 musicians on stage to help me play it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have like 16 synthesizers and 38 drum machines. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm just exaggerating, but like I kind of want to keep it sort of simple. At the moment, I'm kind of gelling really, really much with this. I love this. Inky will probably agree. The little circuit mono station is so much fun. There's a few things that it doesn't do which frustrate me a little bit, but you know, like anything, you work around it. And the neutron's now plugged in. Before it wasn't actually plugged in, it was just sitting there. I don't know if you guys noticed, the neutron, it had a firmware update. I think Inky might have mentioned this a while ago actually. It had a firmware update, and with the firmware update, it was actually really cool. There's actually a feature on it where you can actually take a MIDI clock signal in through the MIDI port, and the LFO can be clock synced to the MIDI, but you can actually turn the LFO rate knob, and that rate knob is time divisions of that MIDI clock. And so 12 o'clock is 1-to-1, and if you go to the left, it's fractions, and if you go to the right, it's multiplications. It's really cool. And then what that gives you is you've got like that whole Eurorack section on the right hand side. You can then use your Neutron as a clock divider. So I don't know if you guys are into Eurorack, but think about how many modules you would save yourself having to buy just by having a Neutron. It's got sample and hold, it's got a MIDI clock, it's got clock divider now, it's got all those slews and attenuators and LFOs, oscillators, all sorts of stuff coming out of it. So and I've just been playing with it. So you can see just below it is the Roland SH01A, which is the boutique. On the right hand side of that, it's got 3 little Eurorack inputs and outputs, and one of them's a clock input. And so what I've been doing is, I don't know if you guys can see here, but the circuit monostation has a clock out, which is just a pulse. That's going into my Eurorack, and then I'm playing with that clock signal and mucking around with it using mathematics, and then I've got that going into the SH01A, and so basically I can have a sequencer running on the SH01A at completely different clock rate as what my main beat's going, and then I can change it with the LFO knob on the Neutron, and you can do that whilst you're performing. It's a really cool musical thing to do. What I've always wanted to be able to do musically is have like 2 different drum machines going, one at half the rate of, or double the rate of the main beat, and then I've wanted to have arpeggiators and sequences going in, divisions or triplets or whatever, some polyrhythms and all sorts of sort of weird stuff going on there. So now I've got all the ability to do that. So the next tracks that I'm making are kind of going to be down that route, and that's why Eurorack entered my gear setup, because it is harder to do what I just talked about without Eurorack. You can do it, but it's usually requires a DAW, and I don't know, that becomes a little bit less fun, doesn't it? With mouse clicking in a DAW. I'm sure people would disagree with me, but that should have interested you there, Darren, what I was just talking about.
Yeah, I've got a dope for clock divider up in the thingy. Although the jacks are a bit hard to get in actually. But yeah, nothing like clock dividing stuff. Marbles is really good as well.
Yep, you can use that
with your triggers on one side. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting subject there, Rands. It's something I've got to explore a lot more. Like, keep that one on the agenda for sure. I'm looking at things like the RD8 sends a clock out, and you can divide it up. So you could send half time clock to another drum machine or a Volca or something.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
But rhythm and triplets, all that theory side of things, I don't fully understand it. I've struggled with things like swing, getting swing to work effectively, we're looking at a lot to do with drum sequencing over the next few weeks.
I used to be I used to be like 4, and everything had to be perfect because I was into that sort of crisp, perfect sequence where everything had to be on the beat, and then that was kind of like beginner me. And then swing is your friend. Get a drum machine, and the first thing you must do to your drum machine is swing your hats or swing your clap. You may not want to swing your kick, but it depends on what you're trying to achieve. But definitely swing. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. There was a question from Inverted Popes. He was asking, thinking about getting a DFAM or a Neutron. He's got 2 Mother 32s. Decisions. Yeah, Neutron's going to be a lot cheaper than a DFAM, though, isn't it? Can someone confirm that? What's the price on Gear for Music?
DFAM's about around $490 to $560, and then obviously Neutron's down in the $270s. That's
he's,
pounds,
he's
by the way.
already got two Mother 32s and a grandmother. So
The
does he
the
need a
D-Fam would fit
neutron or
nice
does
in
he
the
need
rack.
I think he needs a D-Fam. I think that's what
Yeah,
he's...
because the two different types of beast, the neutron and the D-Fam, completely different. So it
DFAM's
really
kind of
depends what
more
you're looking for.
percussive, isn't it? It's more of a percussive synth. It's not a drum machine, but it's more
D-Fam's
of a percussive synth. It's like a noise machine.
Yeah, it's a weird beast, to be honest, because the D-Fam
You need
is.
to turn your lights on, Darren. We can't see
I
anything.
know. I need to turn my lights on. Hang on. Let me put the main light on.
Turn your light on.
Wow, we're going to see Darren's face.
Wow!
There we go.
No, you can't. Yeah, the D-Fam
That's it.
is.
Wow, we can actually see stuff
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That looks
The
good.
D-Fam's like. Well, you basically all you've got. You have no MIDI on it. It's just a basic power and audio out, and you have
Triggers.
the sequence is like you've got like pitch on one level and velocity on the other level. I don't know how to explain it really. It's you basically go to it and see what comes out of it because it's just that wow. It's just that weird. Some people don't like it for that reason, and other people like it because it's just out there. You can come up with some really deep bass sound synths. I think I've got a video up with me jamming on it, going back a couple of months, just making some weird sounds out of it, running through the odd guitar pedal. But yeah, I think like I say, it depends on what you're looking for. But if he's got two Mother 32s, I'd probably say a D-Fam because it's a completely different type of sound and way of going. Whereas the Neutrons, it's like just another synth, isn't it? It's got a lot to it, but it's basically another synth, which is going to be pairing with your three mothers. That's if he's still watching IP. Has everyone gone?
Why not both?
No, I can hear you.
That's my favorite meme to troll with when someone asks a question. Just why not both? Especially when they ask about three options. Have we had the audio drop out? Is that just at my end? Hang on.
No, Ramsey's not mute.
I've lost sound. That's
we
good,
go.
Ramsey.
Hey.
Sorry, I was typing on the keyboard and I forgot to unmute myself. That's a
Don't
drink.
hit that button.
Yeah, I think seriously to answer that question though, it's like it's what are you going to use it for, and none of us will know. But like I said, the DFAM, I've never really found a need for it personally, because one day I'll probably get one. I don't know, but I just I don't know if I've got so much sonic crafting ability with a Arturia drum brute that I've got, that I can do pretty much most of the stuff that you can do on a DFAM, and where that drum brute stops, I can then do the rest with normal synthesizers. So for me, it's kind of like halfway between a Mother 32 and halfway between an 808 or a drum brute. That's kind of where it is. There's a bit of weirdness to it as well, but
I think it appeals to modular heads because I think it's not. It's a bit of a wild beast, I've heard. So what you're making on it, what you're creating, will be very different to what you might create somewhere else.
Inverted said both it is then.
Good.
I don't.
Good. Glad we made his mind.
I don't want to. I'm not trying to knock the DFAM. That's just me. I don't need it. But with the Neutron, I didn't get the Neutron for the synth. So you guys will probably think that's weird. But I've already told the story on my stream about a year ago. I was going to get a Moog CP251 thing for all my Mogafoga pedals. It's like one of those little boxes, and it's got a whole bunch of electronic features on it, like slew and sample and hold and NFO and things like that, and it makes you use your Mogafoga pedals better. And then someone said to me, why don't you just go to Neutron? It's got all that stuff in a Neutron. And then, hey, bonus, you get a 2-voice, 2-oscillator synth at the same time with a filter. I'm like, and it's cheaper. I'm like, that was a no-brainer. That was pretty easy. And you can put it in your Eurorack. So for me, that was why I got it. It was the function, not necessarily the sound. But
do you think a lot?
They make a good synth.
Do you think people have got it as well to have a go at modular? Because that's why I got mine. I thought, well,
it's a good entry.
Yeah, it's a good entry, and you can learn some stuff and have a lot of fun on it.
Yeah.
The DFAM doesn't run the same sort of synthesis, does it? It's not like the classic, the way the Neutron is, the way the synth
it's
is
more
built up.
It's more percussive the way the synthesis works on that. So like a noise generator in a way. Not a pink white noise. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sort of FX sort of noises that you hear in sci-fi movies and things. Glitchy sort of. That's kind of where the DFAM has its.
It is, but you still get those lovely drone noises and deep synth noises and stuff from it.
Yeah.
That's why it's quite hard to explain. I think Lube Pop's done a decent video on the Mother 32 and the DFAM together. Yeah. If you were running them together.
Yeah, get if you've got Mother 32s, get a DFAM. That would be my advice. But if you're a geek like me and you like functions, galore, get a Neutron, because that. I mean, I can't show it because it's all wired up over there. But that right-hand side of the Neutron is massive amount of inputs and outputs on there. I remember someone saying there was 60 or something. I can't remember. There's a huge number of 3.5mm sockets on that thing. So yeah. What are we doing? Been streaming for a couple of hours now. So, and we never did an official bye-bye to the 1 hour. I don't think we'll worry about it this week. We didn't really have kind of like a main show this week. I was trying to, on purpose, I was trying to keep the news fairly light because it was so over the top. And yeah, we kind of, do you kind of agree? We kind of feel a little bit over synth news after NAMM, don't you?
It's been nice to have a chat.
Nice to have a chat. Yeah.
The thing is, it's always like every time you have a plan set in mind of, I think this is what I'm going to save up for, or this is what I'm going to get because I want to do this, this, and this. And then about a week later, you hear loads of more news that's come out, and you go, well, that's buggered that idea up, and because now I've changed my mind. So you never actually get anything done.
What I was doing the other day is I was looking at an old gear list that I'd put together, and I think it was like 2014, so it's like 6 years ago. And I was just looking at the things that I didn't have at that stage, and I was thinking to myself, I've still got most of that. I think the only thing wasn't on there was a Roland XP30 I've got rid of. So all of it's still there, and I just thought to myself, why did I get it originally? Why did I not get rid of it? It was kind of like an interesting sort of moment of me going back in time and seeing what gear I had at that stage. And yeah, 6 years is not that long ago. But to look at when stuff comes out, when that you hear all those NAMM announcements and they say, oh, this synth is going to do this and it's going to do that, and you think to yourself, well, yeah, but that's better than the one I was thinking of getting, so maybe I might just hold off and get that. I think that's always going to happen, isn't it? You just end up holding off,
save
holding
up
off,
for it,
holding
and
off.
Something else comes out and you go,
Yeah. So I think I would look at getting like I was talking the other week about the MC101. If you're ready to part with the cash and you're not quite there with your decision, go into a store if they've got one, check it out one last time. For me, I got cold feet at the last minute because I think the price just scared me a bit with it. I thought it was too expensive for what it was. And literally, like that same day, the MPC1 announcement came out. It was weird. It was kind of almost like angelic. Oh, don't get the MC101, get the MPC1, But yeah, that was weird.
It's a bit. I changed my mind because you remember when I was saying a few weeks back, Randy, that on this side here I was getting something that you'll probably like I think the sound of it. I was just about to hit the button to go and get it, and I seen something else that completely blew my mind. I thought, no, and I've changed my mind, so it didn't actually arrive. Luckily, I didn't go and get it because now I've got something else on order.
Right.
When it's in, it's not available yet, which is a bit of a bugger.
Yeah. Inverted Popes just I'll just put this up while you're talking. Inverted Popes just said that he put a list of gear that I've had and what it cost a fortune to put that gear again now. So in other words, he's probably talking about gear that he used to own, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
Retros,
he's talking
vintage
quite
gear.
a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Anyway, we can always have regrets. I don't regret anything. Never regret anything. Just own your journey. I think regrets are bad. Don't have regrets. Definitely.
I sold a Fender Stratocaster years ago, and at the same time I hocked a bass guitar amp, a Canadian bass amp, and those two things I've never been able to get back again. Like it's like, and it was such a regret that I did it that I now have a real phobia about selling anything. So I just collect things, but I like the collection I've got. I've made decisions that I've got particular things I need to have. And I feel like I'm at a point now where I've got enough to entertain my creativity for the next, to the end of the decade. I look at all the new products, and I'm not really thinking like I need that or I need that anymore. I've definitely experienced that gas. Like I've got to buy the new thing, the new shiny thing. But I'm in a place now where just this works. What I have to do is master this. I need to make this work for me now. There's a lot of presets I've got to program in. It just takes a lot of time, and time I'm looking at new gear is time I'm not doing that. I'm very clear now. The one thing I need is a much better DJ mix. I need better converters up here, and I need better features. And that Pioneer DJM V10 for $5,150 is. I just wonder if I could manifest that. If I could get that, that'd be awesome. But it's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
It seems like a big hill to climb at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I've gone off the Allen and Heath. I'm just not sure about Allen and Heath.
I think for you, you've got your own needs. So I don't know. I always find those DJ mixes a little bit overpriced personally. You can get just as good a mixer without the crossfader. I know Inky will kill me for saying that, but
no. I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree. If you put a crossfader on it, it automatically triples in price. But
yep. It's crazy.
A crossfader was my instrument for like 20 years. So
yeah.
I just love to me.
I just love being able to play it though, and I'd love something that's even more playable. I mean, I'm buying it because it's an instrument. This one behind me, whenever I have to turn and operate that, it's just not the same thing. On the DJ mixer, you can just grab the faders; they're right there, and just flick them. You can drop the filter in, you can chuck effects on, and it happens very, very quickly. If I have to go and operate the other one, it's a matter of pressing mutes or turn the channel down or adjust these knobs you can barely reach. It just changes the workflow completely. In a performance, and when I'm out in front of an audience, it needs to happen, and it needs to happen quick. There's no time to think about it. It's got to be the same as playing piano, operating the DJ mixer. You just know the switch is there. When you flick your hand like that, it goes. I feel really strongly about that, and I've considered the Presonus. Obviously that would solve a lot of problems, but it's just not the performance instrument that I feel I need to have. So
there is a difference, though, Dazzy. You are right between even the faders, your volume faders on a DJ mixer are made to be played rather than gently moved.
There's a definite feel to it that I just love, and I've got to say the Behringer version of it does a really good job. It actually does sound pretty good, and it's reasonable. It's very playable. Like I'm getting a lot out of just what I've got. I've got to appreciate what I have. I've got to be in that appreciation rather than just desiring something new just because I haven't got it yet. Very much working on just appreciating what I've got and expecting new good things to come into my life as I progress. Thanks, Ramsey.
I used to do that little Batman transition in my earlier videos, and no one ever commented on it, so I stopped doing it. But that's
We need to jam more on these things too. We definitely need more live playing music.
There you go. That's just me drumming. Enough of that. All right, guys. I'm gonna probably finish the stream up. I think we just I think we're done. Thank you everybody for joining the stream this week. Don't forget, we haven't done a Jam of the Week for a while, so send in your recommendations for Jam of the Week. There's plenty of good people out there. You guys are watching. I want you guys to, you guys in chat, go out there and find your Jam of the Week and send me a message. Tell me why you think this person should be it. We still need to get JC back on because we never got him on properly. So there's that.
Do you want to get him back?
Yeah, we need to get him back on. Last time I asked him, he was busy with his kids, so we'll see if we can get him back on. Because we never gave him the proper, Jam of the Week treatment. And yeah, so and next week's topic is unknown, so who knows what next week's going to be about. But if you guys have a topic that you want us to talk about, don't let's leave it for me because I'll just come up with something boring. Dazzler?
There were two questions in the stream there. A quick one for Inky is, what speakers are you using in the background there? What are your monitors?
Yeah, I've answered him. I think this was the first thing I ever discussed on Ramsey's show.
Yeah.
And there's a big rant on my channel if you want to go and look at it.
Right. And the other question there, Ramsey, where are you going to put the ARP 2600?
Oh, I've already worked it out. These speakers are going to either go up or down. Probably down because the sub is down there, and I don't use these monitors as much as I should be. I don't know. I don't use them as much anyway. So they're just really just holding up my Lego man at the moment. Really.
HS7s.
HS8s.
Right.
Yeah, and there's another one on the other side. So that'll give me that much more room, which to me is probably about all I need.
For a Behringer.
Yep. So, and don't forget, I've got all of that desk there, and I've got that, which is where my little project desk is down there, which is where, I don't know if you guys watch my YouTube channel for years, I've had that a lot of videos where I shoot from buzz in the green sort of checkered mat that I've got. That's over there, and that's at the moment sitting over there is all my retro computing stuff. So that can be put away at the moment. I'm not even using retro computing properly at the moment. So, yeah, I've got plenty of room, and I can also put something over here. I might just have it here for like 6 years. Oh yeah, when I actually got the Korg ARP Odyssey for the first time, it was literally on my right hand, like literally where that speaker was. Bang! I had it there, right next to me. My most favourite synth at the moment is the Peak. That's why that's right there. So that tends to be what I do.
How wide did you say that Behringer was? 19 inches, isn't it? It's a 19
inch. Yeah. So I need to get a tape
I'm just
measure.
looking at that space there, look. It's about 19 inches.
Yeah, she's working it out. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining in, and people are starting to leave already. So big thanks to all the chatties. We always appreciate you guys coming in and making your comments, and we like to, as you know, put them up. So that was always appreciated. Don't forget during the week to check out Daz's channel, Inky's channel, Darren's channel. They all have, well, I don't know about Inky, but Darren will have a video tomorrow. Daz has been pumping videos out almost daily, so check those guys out. I always put links in the description below. So yeah, see how we go. Anyway, waving goodbye. See you later. Thanks for joining us. Have
See
a
you
great
guys.
week.